And welcome to AQA Paper 2, Resource Management, and it's me, Mrs. S. Today we're going to be talking about energy issues in the UK, with a particular focus on what's happened to our kind of domestic supplies here in the UK. We're going to be talking about the energy mix. We're going to be talking about some of the issues arising from our changing energy mix here in the UK. So get your revision flashcards ready, get your pens and paper ready, because we are now going to start talking about the changing energy mix. And that is defined as the mix of sources that we use to power our country. That's changed. We have become less reliant on fossil fuels. Back in 1970, 2/3 of all our energy mix came from fossil fuels. And that's due to the industry that we had here in the UK, resulting really historically from the Industrial Revolution. So coal, oil, gas, and that's really down to the discovery of North Sea reserves. But today we're becoming much more sustainable. And for the first time in 2024, we move towards a more renewable energy mix, with 50.8% of our energy mix coming from renewables, 29% from wind, and actually only 5% from solar. So what's happening to our domestic supply of fossil fuels? Well, it's decreasing. The last deep coal mine in the UK closed in 2015. We'll talk about the impact of that in a minute. But this has made us much more dependent on foreign imports. And that also means we are perhaps a little bit less energy secure. There are now lots of concerns about our energy security. 70% of our energy is supplied through imports, and that makes us much more vulnerable, doesn't it, to global price changes and big political events. So what is this doing? Well, let's talk about the economic issues associated with the change. So the big deal here is that new infrastructure costs a lot of money. If you look at nuclear, for example, like Hinkley Point C, that is come at the cost of billions to the UK taxpayer and the UK economy. The decline in fossil fuels, whilst it's great for our environment, has actually resulted in a lot of job losses. And that's had a huge economic impact and resulted in a lot of hardship and poverty, deprivation even, in former mining communities, particularly in the north of England and in mid-Wales. So that's quite controversial. We're also talking therefore about the move towards renewables, but renewables is also expensive. Solar panels, wind turbines, they're costly to make, they're costly to maintain, and they're costly to install. So how does this all impact on the environment? Well, obviously, it's great for the environment that we are less reliant on fossil fuels. Our carbon emissions are reducing. In fact, our energy sector emissions have reduced by 66% since 1990. But we still do have an impact. Producing even renewables, like our solar panels and our wind turbines, still requires fossil fuels. It still requires burning carbon and producing carbon emissions. We're also producing acid rain through the emissions of sulfur dioxide, sulfuric acid, but we have committed to a more sustainable future through net carbon zero in the Paris Agreement. Meanwhile, other moves and political moves to the change of energy have also had an impact on the environment. So fracking, for example, which is now banned under the current UK government, does produce water contamination and small-scale earthquakes, and that accounts for why it's been banned. So it will be interesting, won't it, to see how we move towards a more sustainable future, having committed to that net carbon zero. So it's time for your reflection time. Here are the questions for this week. You've got 5 questions. Please feel free to pause the video. And if you don't know the answers, go back and re-watch the video. Thank you so much for continuing to use our revision resources. Check us out on TikTok. Check us out on our website. Check out our future YouTube videos. Thanks so much.